Hi, everybody. We are taking another look at our project that we're going to be working on. What can we do to improve society? I wanted to clear up a couple things that seem to be issues of confusion from last week. If you take a look at this slide, you were supposed to watch this Kid President video, and then there were a couple questions that I asked you to consider, like what did he suggest to do to make the world a better place? In what ways do you see people helping others every day? What real world situations could we offer for some of the more serious problems of the world? And how can you change the world? These were simply questions to consider as you watch this or after you watch this. These were not questions that you had to answer anywhere. So, some people, instead of reading the lesson plan, and doing the actual assignment, they kind of got hung up here in trying to answer the questions for this video. So if you did answer the questions, that's great, but that was not what the lesson plan said. So please make sure you check the lesson plan before you launch into your lessons each day. Okay, for this particular slide, what I ask you to do is begin brainstorming possible topics for your argument project. The essential question, again, that we are coming back to is what can you do to improve society, right? What can you do to make the world a little bit better? What is a problem that exists today, whether it's a big problem or small problem, that you can find possible solutions for? So, in this blank spot below, you were supposed to write your topic idea. That means you have to include not only a solution or possible solutions, but actually identify what your problem is. So some people put down here, for example, like senior loneliness, right? That's fine. And that's good that you identified that as your problem that you're going to tackle. However, you did not include potential suggestions that you're going to work on. You simply wrote down senior loneliness, which would, of course, be a problem without any elaboration. Please make sure you complete that in one sentence as well. So you want to draw that out into like one summary sentence. Your solutions to these problems, as a reminder, they can be theoretical, right? We talked about you could design a product, you could design something that could be 3D printed, for instance. You could design a prototype for something, or it's something that you can actually do, right? And you would include evidence of doing that, just like the extra credit that was offered on Monday. This is a spot to find your time and passion. You do not want to get to a spot where you are kind of knee deep into a project that you don't really care anything about. For this slide, I also saw a couple things that weren't quite the way that I was looking for them, which means you're going to be a little confused later. Please identify the problem that you would like to tackle. For instance, if you chose senior loneliness, you would write down your topic there, but then you want to explore a couple different solutions for that. So maybe I could say send cards, right? Like if my grandmom is in a senior living or assisted living place or whatever, maybe I ask her, hey, Grammy, like, can you give me the name of 3 or 4 friends that could use a card? Or maybe I could send flowers, right? I don't know that I would actually do that to like several people in a nursing home, like as my solution, but I could, make that a possibility. Or maybe if it's theoretical, I could say, ask local florists to donate their excess flowers. Maybe they have extra flowers at the end of the week, and maybe you could ask them to donate that. So maybe what you would really be doing is sending a letter. You could, do that as an example. And then again, your claim here is one sentence. It is a one sentence claim that identifies your problem and possible solutions. The last thing you were doing last week's lesson was to brainstorm a couple different reasons that your topic is a problem. So if I were choosing pollution, for instance, right, I would write down in my boxes a couple different reasons why pollution is a problem. Maybe I'd get to like 8 reasons. And then what I was doing here is kind of checking which ones would be my strongest. So before I go on and do anything else, I just want to clarify, if you did not do slides 8 or 9 or 10 correctly, you are going to want to go back and do those before you move any further. And 11. My bad. If you did not do up to 11 correctly, you are going to want to go back and do those. So our lesson for today is brainstorm evidence for reason number 1. This is where you begin to research. So you are basically identifying why your problem is a problem. So you need to do a little research here. So say, for instance, that I chose teen depression. I need to come up with 1, 2, 3 reasons why teen depression is an actual problem, which means that I am researching, and that means I'm also coming up with my source, and I would include my URL address right here so that I can make sure I go back to my sources and I don't, lose anything in my research process. Here's my little note to you here. You could gather evidence later, but it's a very good idea to gather a few pieces up front. Sometimes you kind of have to whittle through your evidence by the end to be like, no, I don't need that. Or yes, I definitely want to keep this. It's very helpful if you have your sources for reference. Remember that you don't need the whole quote, right? You don't need, when you're writing your information here, you do not need an entire quote on teen depression, right? I don't need all 7 lines, but you want to be kind of to the main point. And eventually you can put your quote in the essay or in our project when we go back, because remember, we're not doing an essay. So all I want you to do today is this. This is your main job. You're going to go back and make sure that you did slides 8, slides 9, slides 10, and slides 11 correctly. Once you've established that you've done them correctly and you have filled out everything possible to help you, you are then going to move to slide 12. In slide 12, you are coming up with 3 different quotes or 3 different paraphrases from 3 different sources that you find. Let me say that again. 3 different quotes or paraphrases and 3 different sources about evidence for reason number 1. So why is your topic a problem? You're going to come up with 3 reasons why your topic is a problem. And then we're going to talk about tomorrow why you have the solutions that you have, right? For reason number 2, what are possible solutions? Okay. So for today, you are working up through slide 12 and you are triple checking that you have enough information. And then you are also coming up with 3 different pieces of evidence, 3 different sources for the evidence for why your first claim about your problem is accurate or is necessary, is important, or is in fact a problem. All right, read through everything again. Make sure you read through all the comments that the class writes that answer questions that you may have, but definitely let me know if you have a question and you don't see an answer there. Have a good day, guys. Make good choices.